Well, not everyone likes vegetables. Others are just sick of how they've been doing it for now a year or two, and they want to change things up. So, taking those complaints to registered dietitian Andrea Hallwanger. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. This is awesome. We've got a colorful display
very
to try
colorful.
and get people loving vegetables.
Yeah. I grew up on my mom just always having carrots as part of what was served, and it was just in butter.
Yeah.
And then when I moved out, I discovered there were other ways to do vegetables. And my wife does a lot of, we both do a lot of wonderful things with vegetables, but there's stuff you can do here to not just get nutrition, but also enjoy it, and that's key.
You bet. So I'm a foodie first and a dietitian second, which means I never want to sacrifice taste. And so I don't think that there's a chef on the planet that would say the best, you need a bit of fat and salt to round out the flavor in foods. Yeah. And so we want to, not make our diets fat-free or salt-free, but we want to use it mindfully and where it counts. And since most of the clients we see are falling short in veggies, this is where you want to have a little room for some butter, a little room for some olive oil, and bring out the natural flavor in foods by roasting and grilling. This is absolutely my favorite way to do it.
I would say it's easier to roast and grill as opposed to boil, because it's almost easier to destroy the vegetables altogether in many ways by boiling.
It is. I call it post-traumatic vegetable syndrome. We've all had the overcooked boiled vegetable that falls apart.
And then you never do it again.
Disgusting. So I want to bring you over here. I want to show you how simple it is. It doesn't, and especially in the summer months, we don't need anything too fancy. You can even do this on the barbecue. Very, very easy to do. So what I've got here is kale from my garden. You can buy it at the store. Put a little bit of garlic, a little bit of butter. Of course, members of your family that are lactose-free, you can, of course, buy a natural lactose-free butter. The only ingredients are lactose-free cream and sea salt. That's it. This is why I like butter over margarine. Simple ingredients. And again, you just need a tiny little bit to add a little flavor. Only 35 calories in a teaspoon.
Could you grill that up? Your kale looks so much better than kale I've ever seen to begin with. So you're doing something right in your garden. But that's it. Is slowly the heat will pull in the butter to the
garlic, and it all rounds out. So a little bit of butter or olive oil when you're cooking a vegetable really buffers some of that bitterness that people tend to not like about vegetables. So here's another one I got here. I've got, again, it's hot out. Throw everything on the barbecue. All you need to do is throw some tin foil. I've got green beans from my garden here. You could do carrots. You could do turnips, kohlrabies, zucchinis, anything. Put just salt, pepper, a little bit of butter, wrap it up as you're grilling your meat, and it just goes right on the grill and delicious.
So there's some vegetables that'll fill me up more than others, and if so, which
ones? I know, you're a tall guy. We need to give this guy some cuisine. And so I'd say the chunkier veggies maybe over the greens might be more sustaining. Okay. But again, when you're planning a meal, make sure to round it out with some carbohydrates. You don't need to be fearful of carbs. You need some for your brain, and certainly for you as an active guy, and a little bit of protein.
Can help as well, right?
Super good way to do it. Absolutely. So a little bit of healthy fats on there, a bit of nuts, maybe a sprinkle of some Parmesan cheese or something just might make you really want to eat more of those veggies too.
Okay, there we go. People should, again, we'll reiterate, should not be fearful of butter.
You should not be fearful of butter or olive oil. A little bit, again, adds so much flavor. And in fact, I think it's the best way to bring out enjoyment in vegetables. So save some of your calories from elsewhere and get them on the things that you know you need to eat more of.
I think we've confused, from messages in the past 20 years, we've confused the whole thing of butter and salt.
Oh yeah,
it's still something good in your, unless your doctor has told you differently, it's something that's good for you.
Unless you don't like taste, I would say avoid those things. But if you need a little bit of love on your vegetables, this is the way to do it. I mean, look at the beets here. They're beautiful. I just put a little olive oil, salt, pepper. You could put a little Greek seasoning on there, toss it onto the barbecue or into the oven if you like, and like so delicious and so easy.
So when Sarah wins at the festival with her squash, then we've got ways to do this.
You bet. I would say roasting a squash is my absolute favorite way to do it.
But that's one of the biggest things in our household is as a base layer too. That squash, squash does fill you up. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
Thank you so much, Andrea. All the ways to get you through the rest of the summer too, especially with vegetables and seasonal vegetables. Thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we've got more of your headlines.